Good morning, year five. Okay, 1st of February. We've made it through January. Well done. So today we're going to have a look at our first biography from our book. And it's a biography of a lady called Mary Anning. So we're going to learn a little bit about her today. Now, the way the book's set out, we get a first page, okay, with a couple of facts written around them. We'll have a closer look in a moment. And then we get our biography of the person. And again, we've got some facts written around the page about this individual. Okay, so described as the greatest fossilist the world ever knew by the British Journal of the History of Science. Her work changed how we understand prehistoric life. She found the first skeletons of the ichthyosaur and the plesiosaur. This is really testing my dinosaur pronunciation this morning. Her work was key in proving that extinction occurs. Okay, so let's have a look at a little bit more detail. So, Mary Anning was a fossil collector and paleontologist. Okay, a paleontologist is someone who studies fossils, okay, in prehistoric life. So, Mary Anning was born in 1799 in a small English seaside town called Lyme Regis. Her family was very poor, so she helped her father collect fossils to sell to tourists. It was dangerous work because the cliffs were steep, yet 11-year-old Mary took over the fossil business when her father died. Okay, so Lyme Regis, which is very local to here, just up the coast, about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour up the road, so she lived very locally, and 11 years old, took over her business when her father passed away. There was a time when people had never heard of dinosaurs and thought it was impossible for a species to go extinct. Mary helped to prove this wrong. When she was 12, she found the first complete ichthyosaur skeleton. She went on to discover two skeletons of the previously unknown species plesiosaur. These fossils were unlike any living animal, proving that extinction could occur. Okay, some facts about her here. So her dog Trey came with her on fossil digs until he died in a landslide. There is a myth that her genius came from being struck by lightning as a child. And the well-known tongue twister, she sells seashells on the seashore. It's rumoured that that was actually written about Mary Anning. She also discovered the first pterosaur skeleton outside of Germany and made many ancient fossilized fish. She helped determine that bones called bezoars were actually fossilized poo. Mary was not allowed to publish work because she was a woman. Male doctors and geologists respected her ideas and used her findings in their own work, but her name was edited out. Although this was unfair, it was remarkable that a working-class woman was allowed to mingle with educated men in Victorian Britain. Mary Anning's discoveries let the world see fossils as more than mystical oddities. She sold fossils to noble gentlemen. Her life inspired many modern fictional stories. People called fossils devil's toenails and snake stones. Okay, so before they knew what they were, they were the names, they would call them snake stones or devil's toenails. So, thinking about overcoming challenge, okay, being the best version of yourself, she was not allowed to publish her work. So she went about all of her work knowing that she would not receive the recognition that she deserved, and her name was taken out of all of the work. So all of her discoveries were put down originally to men, because they were the only people who were allowed to publish her work. Okay, so she continued for all of this to enable us to learn an awful lot about prehistoric life, about fossils and about dinosaurs, and she was very local to here, so a really extraordinary woman. So we've got some questions, okay, and you can flick back through the text to find your answers. Okay, so question 1, why is the work that Mary Anning completed so important? Okay, what is it about her work that was important? Her work was incredibly risky. So that's a statement. I want you to find evidence in the text to support this. Why was her work incredibly risky? And why may people not have known Mary Anning's name when her discoveries were made? Okay, so she would have been completely unknown at that point. Why was that? And question 4, okay, I want you to tick. You can either draw out the table or you could just write the statement and say whether it's true, a fact or an opinion. So Mary was not as clever as the men paleontologists. Is that a fact or an opinion? Mary sold fossils with her dad in Lyme Regis. Fact or opinion? And she discovered the first ichthyosaur skeleton aged 12. Fact or opinion? Okay, look forward to seeing your work on Class Dojo, and I will see you later for a live lesson.